when people feel insecure and powerless, they feel the need to lash out. They feel the need to bring somebody else down. Someone who is truly secure in who they are doesn't feel the need to do that. So I think that, there is no human being on planet Earth who will not be rejected in some way or another.
Hi, this is Samira Sheikh here, and with me today I have the gorgeous Trinetra, as she is going to introduce about her love life and how things are going around her via Rainbow Rishta only on Zoom. So welcome, join me as I welcome Trinetra on Zoom.
Hi, how's it going?
It's going great, and you look lovely. You look gorgeous. I was watching you very closely in Rainbow Rishta, so I must say that your
Thank
natural
you.
beauty was too, visible in the series.
Thank you. That's why I've kept it very natural today also, because this is
Yeah,
me.
I think it suits you quite well.
Thank you. Thank you. I love what you're wearing also. Very festive.
Thank
Beautiful.
I have to ask you, how was your experience of sharing your side of story and the struggles which you have had while being a transgender woman and confessing about it and telling a story
Mm.
to everyone.
I think, it was very interesting because this was shot almost 1.5 years back, when I was still doing my MBBS. So I was in Manipal at the time, and I was also shooting for Made in Heaven. So it was a very sort of hectic time in my life where, both things were happening at the same time. And because you mentioned love life, I also say that, that part of my life, there wasn't much time for it. So once in a while when I was in Bombay, I'd meet people if at all, I felt like it. And I think that's when they also set me up on these blind dates because they were like, you know what, Trinetra, let's take the cameras with us and record you. So it was interesting. It was interesting. It's obviously a vulnerable space going on a date and making yourself known to the other person and who you are. And the cameras add another layer of क्या बोलते हैं, like a little bit of anxiety to it. But the team, given the fact that many of them were also part of the community, it really sort of created a safe space, not just for me, but for all of the protagonists, and I'm just happy that it's come out so beautifully that it doesn't come across as, acha, it's just about love life or, just about the masala and somebody. It's not that. It's a very beautiful, intimate sharing of our fears, our joys and desires, and how all of it just comes together. And it's very human at the end of the day,
Hmm.
more than anything else. So, maza aaya
And I
bahut.
have to ask
Isliye.
you, as we talk about love life, we always feel like love is so good, or it gets so complicated, and it has
Hmm.
its own pros and cons. But when that rejection happens, that time a human doesn't know how to deal with it. It's so
Yeah.
puzzling in that matter, how to receive that rejection from the person you have loved, or you may have been with that person for so long. If you have to say
Hmm.
something on that.
So I think that there is no human being on planet Earth who will not be rejected in some way or another. Especially as an artist. Something that I was told before moving to the city itself is, yeah, in Bombay, you have to make peace with rejection. You have to make peace with failure in every part of your life because that's just how it is here. So the thing is, and we all at some point will be rejected and we will also reject at some point, and that's just part of life. But given the fact that when you're rejected in any way, you feel very vulnerable, that's a scary space for the world to see it. But I think I'm glad that all of us have faced that at some point and it's visible in the show also. And I feel very happy that, a part of my life, which I can't talk about on my social media as much, has been captured in such a beautiful, wholesome way by the team. And when I look back at it, even when I was watching the show with my family and stuff, I didn't, I thought I was very nervous. Oh my God, am I going to really look stupid, when I watch this? But no, it's come across as so sweet and so genuine. And I think rejection is part of life. Being rejected and rejecting is part of life. But at the end of the day, as long as you're a decent human being, and if you've caused hurt, you apologize for it. Um, whether it's on purpose, whether it's inadvertent, you apologize for it and move on. That's just life. That's how it is. Whether you're cis, trans, gay, straight, whatever.
And I
So,
have to ask you this question, and I've seen some videos also, and one was a brand collab though. You
mm.
shared a very good equation with your father, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
mentioned that
yeah.
those products and all. So tell me about it, when
Yeah.
you confessed to him that, this is what you are and this is what you want to be over the years.
Mm.
How the reaction was of both your mother and your father.
Mm. So the thing is, when it comes to any Indian family now, it's never black and white in the sense that no family is perfect. No individual, whether you're a cis woman or a trans woman, I'm sure you also as a woman understand this, that we love our parents, but they have certain flaws and they have certain things that you have to make your peace with at the end of the day. कि ये मैं change नहीं कर सकती, तो मेरी जिंदगी ऐसी है, and their life is going to be like that to some extent. So for me, I have made peace with my fact that they are never going to, like, they can't undo what they have done as parents in my childhood. And that's always going to be a complicated space. So when I came out, I didn't come out as a woman. क्योंकि मुझे खुद ही नहीं पता था. Like, I didn't have the language and the vocabulary to understand any of this. I knew that मेरे को लड़के पसंद है. That much I knew. Because that's something that you feel attraction towards your classmates or whatever, and then you start to understand. तो mom को जरा झटका लगा था when I first came out. She was like, मेरे बेटे के साथ ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. Like, this can't be happening in my family. It's okay if it's happening outside. TV पे चलेगा. पड़ोस के आंटी, like her son, it's absolutely fine, but my son cannot. That's usually how Indian parents are. कि अपने घर में सब कुछ ठीक होना चाहिए. Outside it's fine too. So for me, I think making my peace with that was very difficult at that time as a teenager, when I was being bullied and I couldn't talk about it to my own parents because, they were also like, "Ha, to toughen up na, be strong, be macho, karate karo, all that." But, now, of course, it's been so many years. And I think when you have your own life and you live separate from your parents, you also start to see them as human beings, right? You also start to see them as adults who are also doing the best that they could. So I think now I've made my peace with that. They are who they are, I am who I am, and this is our relationship.
And I must say that some of your videos wearing swimsuit are just too good, too lovely. You look so hot in those videos and those pictures which you're feeling and all. Quite a good setup and all. And you have also mentioned in one of your posts, which is about how in your early days when you were in college and school and when you had a certain face structure and when you were you were going as a normal boy for that matter and you were getting bullied कि कैसे लड़की and such comments, such remarks would be made. Now that you have become, and you shared a video, and that was very good for that Rahul video which you made. Rahul, I think that was very interesting to see that video of yours. And, the way you gave it back.
Yeah.
Do you feel that over the years that bulliness has like completely changed, that now you're so strong as a person that if someone is trying to humiliate you in any way, you're there. You're just out there.
See, I think that trolls will continue to exist no matter what. And, it's not stopped in the sense that even now my DMs are full of hate on some days. That Rahul video got a lot of hate, by the way. Like, yeah, a lot of people in my DMs, and it happens. But the thing is, as time passes and you've achieved certain things in your life, and this applies to anybody, you develop a sense of self-worth now. And initially, I used to want to fight every troll and have a conversation and educate people. But something that I read somewhere is that, stop trying to convince people who are committed to misunderstanding you. अगर कोई आपको समझना चाहता ही नहीं है, तो क्यों time waste कर रहे हो भाई? Like, leave it. Clearly, these are not people who want to understand you, right? So it doesn't matter. You can't change every single person's opinion. You can't please everybody. And that applies to within the community also. Yeah, there are many people within the community who don't agree with each other, and we're human at the end of the day, right? So now I'm just like, bhai, say whatever you want to say. I don't care. I have my life. I'm happy. I'm doing my thing. So, yeah.
And I think the Trin name is like quite cool. I must say that Trin. It literally feels
Thank
like
you.
Is it a nickname which you have chosen for yourself or like your friends call you?
So I think in college, when I changed my name, people were like, "Yeah, Trinetra it's a long, it's a mouthful, you know what I mean? So like something we need to come up which is shorter." So some people started calling me Trin. So on Instagram, I tried to find Trin, that was taken. Trinetra was also taken. So I was like, okay, Trin sounds like catchy. So let's just go with that. And the way it's stuck, every single space I walk into, people will be like Trin. Not Trinetra, not Trin, it's Trin.
Yeah. And
And
it's very cool. It's very like, it reminds of you all those, school memories you have and all that, that chotu sa names you have, all these nicknames.
Cycle Wala Bell is what people
Huh.
say.
Yeah, cycle wala bell, yeah, actually. It's like that.
I think it's, it's cute, it's quirky, and it's innocent. I like that. And it sticks. You'll remember it.
And coming back to Rainbow Rishta, I saw you very closely and I genuinely loved your character, to be honest. The way they are
Thank you.
focusing on your eyes, your expressions when you're experiencing something, when that rejection is happening, you're literally
Mm,
like in that mood when you're driving the car, you're literally lost and all. It was all
yeah.
organic and natural. It was completely like that. But the way you also expressed yourself, your
Mm,
displeasure, what, makes you uncomfortable versus, what
mm.
exactly keeps you comfortable. And honestly, when I saw you on date with that guy, you really both made a very good pair, to be honest. I'm not
Which
kidding.
one? The first one or the second?
I think the second one, where you're going somewhere and you guys are talking, he's 33 or something, and then you guys are having a
Hmm.
good conversation. I think salt and pepper look he had. I think so. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think you guys
Yeah.
made a good pair. But, Trinetra, you are quite open and you are surrounded by such good people who don't always try to show you down, or, there are people on social media when it comes to other side of life, which is like other parts of India, people are still not established as such. They abuse, they talk shitty things, and all these things happen.
Hmm.
How do you deal with something like this, or if you have been through anything like that ever?
I think that there is. So this is something that I was told, right? A real queen carries a lot of grace. That is why you refer to a king or a queen as, your grace, because there is a lot of grace. So there is a lot of dignity in silence also. I really believe this, huh? And
Hmm.
sometimes when people are in front of you and they're disrespecting you, you have to give it back. But I think 99% of the time, you don't need to. If someone is actually affecting your physical and mental safety at that point in time, by all means, give it back, go for it, do whatever you have. I've also done this. In college, I remember when I was asked to remove my nose piercing and I was not allowed into classes, I also gave it back. I didn't sit quiet, because my education was being hampered. And
Hmm.
you can't, as a doctor, discriminate against your students. But I think Richa Chadda was saying this in an interview. It's some, Chintu in
Chintu from
Chandigarh
Chandigarh. Yeah.
saying something. क्या फर्क पड़ता है बोलने दो जलते हैं वो there are people who are so called normal men and women normal होके तुमने क्या उखाड़ा है लाइफ में प्लीज बता दो मेरे को भी तो have you been able to be a doctor, have you been able to be an actor or a content कुछ भी किया है लाइफ में नहीं ना तो
बस
करो बात
कमेंट्री पे आ जाते हैं वो 3 सेकंड वाला.
so the thing is when people feel powerless when people feel insecure and powerless, they feel the need to lash out. They feel the need to bring somebody else down. Someone who is truly secure in who they are doesn't feel the need to do that. So I would say that I feel empathy and pity for someone that feels the need. And why should I say anything? I don't want to waste my time and energy on that kind of energy.
Talking about the profession which you have chosen two tough professions. Like you have
Huh.
chosen being a doctor and you're also an actor. How are you balancing between both?
So right now, after I finished my MBBS, I've taken some time off to prepare for my postgrad on the side, but also, while shooting for Made in Heaven and Rainbow Rishta, I realized that the demands of the worlds are very different. As a doctor, you will spend 14 hours there in the hospital sometimes without caring about how you look, how your nails look, so I think when that would happen, when COVID hit, and then I had to suddenly get acrylics done to go back to shoot on set, and then cut them off and come back and scrub into surgery again. It was a bit much. I remember, I know it's a very small thing, but there was this one day where my nails were absolutely fried, okay, from this back and forth, and they were very painful. And I was scrubbing into a surgery and khoon nikal raha tha, from my hands. And I was so overwhelmed physically and emotionally at that point because I was also very sleep deprived. I had a breakdown. I was like, yeah, I can't do this anymore because it's it's too tough trying to manage the demands of both these worlds, where in the hospital you don't care about what anyone says or thinks about, who you are and the way that you look. These things don't matter so much. But here there are things you have to pay attention to because that is generally the lifestyle, right? So I think I also really wanted to work on my craft as an actor. That was very important to me, which I couldn't do sitting in the hospital or during residency. So coming here and, for another web series I'm shooting right now, I went through a bunch of workshops again. So I feel very fulfilled to be working on my skills as an actor and getting better. Like that learning curve is very important to me. ऐसा नहीं है कि अच्छा ठीक है एक show निकल गया great you've done something. No, it's I want to build a body of work and I want to work towards that. So that's important.
And lastly, what are your upcoming projects you're working on before I let you go?
You know very well I can't tell you this. Amy, you asked.
I try my luck always, while trying to know something about this. Like, tell me thoda bahut kuch to. No?
Very different character from what I've done so far, which makes me happy. Because you tend to be typecast ki oh ab to ye trans roles hi karegi, but what's the problem with that? I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I am a trans woman. Why should I feel bad about playing a trans character? The thing is, heroes bhi hero ke roles hi karte hain, wo heroine ke role nahi karte, and they're very happy. So
but who are you keen to work with?
Who am I keen to work with? Many people. Yeah, so many people. I think someone I really admire, Tilotma Shon. She's been doing amazing work. Shefali Shah has been doing amazing work. Konkona, I've been a fan of since I don't know how many years, since I was a child. I admire these women because they have, not ascribed to that mold of what a so-called heroine should be, and yet they've done such powerful, beautiful, amazing work. And that's the kind of body of work I want for myself, where it's beyond the superficial. It carries meaning and it has an impact on society. That's important.
Well, that's. I think that is how even the characters evolve, and that is what we get to see on screen, and that is how we remember those characters. I feel for the longer run.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that was lovely chatting with you, Trinetra, and to learn a lot of makeup tutorials from you apart from your